Comedian, writer, and actress Ziwe has made a name for herself by staring interviewees in the eye and asking, "How many black friends do you have?" Through her Instagram Live and former Showtime series, Ziwe gained fame for her sometimes uncomfortable and nearly satirical interviews about race, societal issues, and pop culture. Now she's releasing her debut collection of personal essays in her new book, Black Friend Essays, which takes a deep dive into her relationship with topics such as identity, body image, and code switching, offering a candid, unscripted look into her life. And joining us now is Ziwe herself. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited, Linsey.
So how did you make the switch, the pivot, really, from doing these interviews, asking people how many black friends they have, for example, to deciding, you know what, I'm going to actually write a book about this?
Ooh, great question. I started off as a professional writer, honestly, before I did any interviews, before I really did comedy. So it was a natural transition to decide to take all these stories I had over the course of my life and put them on the page.
And you write, black friends come in all shapes and sizes, yet the archetype is often a two-dimensional character meant to support the non-black protagonist's more complex humanity. Talk to me about how you really challenge and deconstruct that notion in this book.
Well, I think you'll find in every essay that the black person is sort of central to the story, and you're able to expand and to see their point of view in a way that's really captivating and interesting. And I think that that's something that we don't really cover as much.
And you talk about the misunderstandings about race in particular. What are some of those misunderstandings / understandings that you've come to know?
I think an understanding I've come to know is that it's a deeply uncomfortable conversation. And a misunderstanding is that that uncomfortable conversation will ruin our lives or kill us. I like to think that having these awkward conversations provide levity and joy and make people feel more at ease with the fact that they're not perfect, just like I'm not perfect.
What have you learned by having some of these uncomfortable conversations?
That I don't know everything, but I'm one step closer every day.
What do you learn about other people?
I think I learned that other people are afraid to offend, and sometimes that can prohibit really deep conversation because we all want to be polite. No one wants to have people be mad at them, but I like to open up conversation to just say whatever you're thinking, how offensive as it is, and let's just have this groundwork to work with.
And I asked you just out of curiosity, when you ask people things like, you know, do you have any black friends? Does anybody ever say no? And tell me about your response.
Well, people have said no before, and I honestly don't think that's such a dishonest answer. I think more people say no than you'd think.
And do they ever give an explanation, or is there a justification?
Yeah, it's where they live, how they grew up, what they do. And I think that that's a great place to start. Now we know.
What would you hope that readers of Black Friend Essays, what they take away?
That I have beautiful feet, and that my Wiki Feet score, which I wrote about in The New Yorker, should not be a 2, which is okay, but a 5, which is beautiful. But ultimately, I hope that people read my book and laugh. Honestly, it's just meant to bring people joy and get them through their day.
Help people to understand what they can expect when they read Black Friend Essays.
A bunch of pop cultural conversations that I ultimately make about myself.
But what does that help them to learn about perhaps themselves?
I think the vulnerability that I share, which was really difficult, I hate sharing anything about myself, but I had to do so. I had to do so to make a fully functional book. So I'm hoping that people are able to connect with me with the places where I'm really honest, again, about my feet score, for example. That's not something I share with pride, but rather to show that I'm human.
Why do you often not like to share about yourself? Because you're inherently a funny person. I think a lot of times people who are, in particular, comedians, they talk a lot about themselves and their experiences, but you seem to feel more guarded about that.
Yeah, those people are the worst. I prefer to listen. I think that's what makes me a really good interviewer. And so I would rather just hear what people have to say and then react appropriately. But in a book, you really can't hide behind 200 pages. And so I was forced to share things about myself that I probably wouldn't do under any other circumstance, but I think is to the benefit of these essays.
What's next for you?
World domination.
That's an easy thing. Tomorrow?
Yes. Hand in hand.
Okay. All right, we got it. All right, Ziwe, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Want our viewers to know Black Friend Essays is now available to purchase wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.